What's going on? It's YFD, your favorite demon, and I'm back again. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's blessed. I hope everybody's staying safe. And most of all, I hope everyone's had a good week. Today I'm back with another story, and the story is about the first time I got kidnapped. So enough said, let's get into the video. So, the first time I was kidnapped. I say kidnapped, I'm not really sure if I can consider it being kidnapped, because I wasn't held for days or nothing like that. But it was in my younger days, and they took me. So, I guess you can call it kidnapped. Or I got taken for a little while, should I say. So anyway, I was in my younger days, a lot younger, early teens, and I was working and hustling, not for someone, I was working and hustling for myself, but I was getting my food, my grub, my packages from an older guy on consignment. And I knew him from the area, the estate. He was cool. He was cool at first, like everybody is. Everybody's okay until they're not okay. And what had happened is some other set of older dudes from my estate. When I say older, these guys were in their mid-30s to late 30s. And they had called me because they wanted a draw. So obviously I'm gonna go and sell the draw. So they've called me, I knew them anyway. I've gone to meet them to sell them this draw. Jumped in the car, and mind you, these are known shooters. When I was younger, that's what I knew them for. I knew that they had shot at people. They were known for putting in work, put it that way. So anyway, I've gone to meet them. I've jumped in the car, but as I've jumped in the car, one of them's jumped out and said, yeah, go on, jump in the back. So I've jumped in the back, they've jumped in the side, not the side, they've jumped in after me. I've jumped in the back, they've jumped in after me, one of them. He's coming behind me, sat on the side of me. So I'm like in the middle now, in the back. So there's someone on my right side and there's someone on my left side. And then there's someone in the passenger seat and someone in the driver's seat. So I get the drawers out. Anyone that don't know, drawers are bags of herbs that man smoke. So I've passed them the bags of smoke. And we're just having a chat, a little catch up or whatever. Because like I said, I knew them from the area. They knew me, whatever the weather. We're just having a little joke. So as we're talking, one of them then turns and says to me, oh, you know Bison. I call him Bison because I don't want to say his real name. So I say, yeah. They say, what's happening? You getting your gear from him? I say, yeah, he lines me up. So then they're like, oh, so what? When you meeting him next? So I'm like, oh, I don't know. When I finish what I've got, obviously I'll phone him and meet him. Then one of them turn around and say to me, well, when you're gonna meet him next, you need to phone us first and let us know when and where you're meeting him. So I'm like, why would I do that? And then they say to me, because we're going to kidnap him. So I'm like, later, I'm not doing that. I'm not involved in that. Why would I do that? Like, my man's cool. He looks after me, or so I thought he did anyway. He looks after me. I ain't getting involved in that. That's between you lot. Like, that's nothing to do with me. So then they start trying to turn a little bit nasty. Like, yo, what do you mean you're not going to do that? We're your olders, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I don't have olders. I got older cousins, older family. I ain't got no olders. I've never had olders. So they're getting a bit, I don't want to say the word aggressive because I think that's a bit too extreme. They wasn't getting aggressive, but they were turning towards that way, if you know what I'm saying. They were getting a bit, I'll say assertive, trying to assert their dominance in the car towards me. I'm a kid, I'm early teens, like I said. So in my mind, I'm like half panicking now, thinking like, what is going on here? So I think the best thing to do is just end this conversation and try and get out the car. So I'm like, listen, I'm not doing that. I'm not being involved in that. I'm not cool with that. And I don't want to keep talking about it if I'm honest. So I beg man, just pay me for the drawers and let me go in it, let me cut. So then they're like, oh, but what, you're not going to do that for us, blah, blah, blah. So I'm saying, listen, I'm not doing it. So I start getting a bit like irate in the car. And obviously I'm a kid, so I don't think they really wanted to hurt a kid. But they were just like, all right, it's cool. Like, don't worry about it. Just make sure you phone man when you're going to link him. So I'm like, listen, I just want to get paid for my drawers. Are you paying me or not? If not, let me get out the car and you can keep the drawers. If you're paying me, pay me. But either way, I'm cutting. I'm leaving. So they say, no, we're not holding you. You can go, bro. Like, here's your money for your drawers. They pay me for the drawers. And as I'm getting out, they say, just make sure you phone us though, because I don't want it to be a problem. You're trying to like bully me in it kind of thing. So I was just like, all right, cool in it. Yeah, safe. I leave. And now I'm in a catch-22 because it's like, I know these guys from my estate. They're cool with me. I'm cool with them. Well, I thought they was anyway until they were trying to pull a little move like that. But I'm also cool with the guy who I thought was looking after me by supplying me with my parcels. So it's like, do I ring him and tell him that they're onto him and then he makes it known that I've told it, and then I look like a rat. So I just thought the best thing to do is act like it never happened, not interested. I don't even tell my friends because it was a weird situation. I didn't know how to handle it. Like I said, I was early teens and I was young and dumb myself, so I didn't know how to deal with the situation. So I just thought, forget about it, it never happened, and I'll leave it as it is. So a few days later, I'm back to doing what I'm doing normally. I'm with one of my friends, we're on the block chilling. I get a call from the guy who looks after me, Bison. So Bison calls me and says, what's happening? You finished with that parcel? If you're finished, I'll come meet you and grab it. So I said, I'm not done, but I'm nearly done. I'll let you know when I'm done. He's like, I'll just come and grab what you got now. So I was like, all right, no problem. Just meet me at our little spot. He's like, all right, cool. So half hour, 45 minutes goes by. He comes to meet me at the little spot. He calls me, says, I'm there. So I'm with my friend. And my friend says to me, do you want me to come with you? And I said, nah, it's cool. Don't worry about that. I'm just going to run down quickly, go link him, and then I'll be back in a second. So he says, all right, cool. Don't worry about it. So then as I'm walking down the stairs, he says, actually, do you know what? I'm going to come with you because I can't be bothered to wait here on my own. I'm bored. I'll say what's happening to them man there as well. So I'm like, all right, cool, come on then. Which was luckily that he done it, to be fair. Well, lucky and unlucky. And I'll explain why. So I go down the stairs, go outside. He's in a car, so I jump in the front, my mate jumps in the back. As I jump in the car, there's a guy sitting behind me in the passengers in the back. And my guy who deals with me, Bison, is sitting in the driver's seat. So obviously my pal jumps in the back with whoever it is in the back. I didn't know at first. So I jump in, say what's happening. He spuds me, I spud him. He's like, we're just gonna drive around there quickly. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get out the money that I've got for him and he's driving off. As he drives off, and he gets around the corner, he beeps his horn, and I see a car come behind us and start following behind us. So that was the first red flag. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? But still oblivious to it, not taking any notice of it, because I assume he's my friend, he's cool. So we're driving, and then he just starts changing the subject. He's like, yeah, talking some weird stuff like, I ain't washed for 3 days, I'm on a greasy thing, blah blah blah, I'm gonna clap, man, I'm gonna if I have to kill someone, I'm gonna kill someone. So I stopped the conversation. I'm like, yo, who are you talking about? You talking to me? And as I say that, the guy in the back pulls out a 38 revolver and puts it to the side, to my side, but like to the chair. So he comes to the side like that. It's in my ribs basically. And he's like, if anyone jumps out the car, I'm just gonna squeeze. So I'm thinking, what have I done to get myself in this situation? I'd have forgot about the whole other situation that took place a few days before. Because I thought, why would they tell anybody and I ain't told anybody? So it can't be nothing to do with that. So I'm saying to him, hey Bison, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? What are you up to, man? He's like, man, don't talk to me. When we get to where we're going, I'll talk. So he drives me and my friend like 45 minutes, I say half an hour, 45 minutes away from where we was at. My friend's just shocked in the back of the car, don't know what's going on. And I feel bad because it's like, you're only dragged into this because of me for some reason. So we get to where we're going, it's like some little field, like, it's like a car park that's on the back of a field. So we get there, we park up. He then starts going mental. Like, you tried to line me up, you were gonna set me up to get robbed and kidnapped. So I'm saying, what are you talking about? He gun bucks me, gives me a few punches. My mate's trying to get involved and say like, yo, stop all that. But remember, we're young teenagers. These guys are in their 30s towards their 40s. So we're both just shocked and don't even know how to handle the situation properly. So as I said, he's going mental, giving me a few whacks or whatever. Come to realize the guy in the back of the car that was sitting next to my friend, he only went to my school and he was like older than me, like way older than me. But I remember him from school. So when I was in year 7, he was in year 11. So when I clicked that it's him, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I know you. And he's saying my name to me and he's saying, I know you from school, but I'm riding with Bison and I don't want to have to kill a kid, but I will if I have to. So he's now trying to point this in the side of my head. So every time he comes to my head, I'm pushing it away, saying, what are you doing? I'm panicking now. I'm in like basically full panic mode. But I'm trying to be as calm as I can because I don't want this guy to slip and pull the trigger. In the midst of all that arguing, the other car behind us that I said was following when he beeped, that's pulled up now. The guy's jumped out on my mother's life. He's jumped out of a balaclava on, his hood up, and put a big shotgun to the side of the window. So I've got a shotgun at my passenger window, and I've got the guy in the back trying to hold a 38 to me. I say trying, he was pointing it towards me and I kept pushing it away. So now I'm just sat there froze. And in my head I'm thinking, I'm gonna die. At any moment, they're just gonna shoot me in a minute. So I'm scared, 100%. There's no shame in my game, I tell the truth. I'm scared. And like I said, I'm panicking, but I'm also trying to stay calm. My mate in the back is just being told to shut up because he keeps trying to like get involved and say like, don't do that sort of thing. But obviously, what can you do? As I said, we're young teenagers, not really a lot you can do when you're young teenagers against fully grown men and they got guns on them. So Bison, who ain't got a gun in the front, who's doing all the talking and give me a few digs, is like, why would you do this to me? So I'm like, bro, I never done that to you. Like, when he explains it to me and I know fully what it is about, like I said, trying to line him up, I say to him, listen, them man pulled up on me and I told them no. Simple as that. I told them no, I'm not doing it. They kept trying to pressure me to do it. I said, and I never said nothing because I don't want to be in the mix of what you lot have got going on. So he's like, man's gonna rob you, where's all your stuff? I'm like, I've just given you all the money I've got, which is your money anyway. He's like, where's your stuff? I'm gonna clean you out. So I'm lying. I'm like, it's all out on tick. I gotta wait for it to come in, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, wait there. After he's finished talking a load of crazy stuff, he's like, give me a second. He goes on the phone. He comes back and says, I just spoke to someone and they verify what you're saying. They're saying that you did say no, you're not on all of that. So I'm like, exactly. So why have you done all of this? Like, it's a piss take. He then apologizes and says to me, bro, man didn't mean it, man was just trying to be safe. So I'm just like, listen, whatever the weather, I need to get out. He's like, no, let me drop you back, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem, you can drop me back. So he drops us back. Meanwhile, the dude I went to school with is in the back. When we get back to like the estate and we're getting out, he's trying to rob my friend for a phone. These are grown men, you know, robbing him for a phone. So I have to intervene. I'm just like, listen, let him take your phone, man. It's a phone. We'll buy another one. Don't worry about it. If this is what they came here to do, rob a phone, have the phone. So they let us go. That's the main gist of the story. Of you can decide whether I got kidnapped or not. I don't know the right term to use for it, but I was taken and held against my will, put it that way. So then we walk back to the estate because he drops us off basically at the estate, but not where he got us from. So we walk back to the block and I ring the older dudes that were trying to get me to line him up, and I'm like, yo, what kind of dickhead thing are you lot doing? You asked me to line him up, I told you no, then someone has told my man that I've said yes, so it's someone you was with. He's like, oh, do you know who it is? It must have been the other dude in the back. He is Bison's little brother's friend. So this is the mental capacity of these dickheads. You've got the guy's brother's friend in the car with you while you're trying to line up his friend's older brother. Obviously he's gonna go back and tell his friend, and who's gonna tell his older brother. And that's what I'm saying. This is the type of people you're dealing with on the road. So again, it's just a message to tell you a bit about my life and a story about my life, and another reason why don't get involved in this road life, don't get involved in the streets. It's long and it's dead, and I'm gonna keep saying that forever and ever. Amen. I'm gonna keep saying it. So please, if you could take anything from this story, take that the roads is long and they're not worth it. And I realize a couple of stories that I've been telling, it makes me look like a victim. I'm not a victim, and I've done my fair share of dirt, believe me. I've done a lot of dirt to people. I'm not proud of it, but that's why I won't tell them stories of me doing the dirt to people, because I don't want to glorify it. As much as I know in my heart I'm not glorifying it if I was to tell the stories that I had done to people, but it would be taken like that, and I don't want to glorify it. I don't want to show any type of glorification towards being involved in that type of lifestyle, because there is none, and it always ends bad. It always ends in tears. So don't feel sorry for me. I'm not a victim. As much dirt has been done to me, I've done to other people. But as I said, I choose not to tell the stories that make me quote unquote look good in that kind of lifestyle, because I don't want to glorify it. But yeah, that's just a quick story. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And with that being said, it's YFD, your favorite demon, and I'll see you lot on the next one. I'm out.